Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your man Rekka back again from Anime Back When. So today we're here to talk about a babble on this guy right here, this anime by the name of Btooom. Now, this show has been on my shelf over there for years. You know what I mean? And I've been supposed to go through and watch it, and I just never did. I kept on putting it off or whatever. But I just finished watching it this morning, and I want to do a general just overview and just discuss it or whatever the case may be. Most of you guys watching this probably have heard of it. And, first of all, let me just say what a phenomenal experience this was. This is basically like Gantz and the Hunter exam from Hunter x Hunter, the jungle part, the part where they were in the wild, in the forest and shit like that. This is like those two things coming together with a little mix of like Jigsaw, Saw, the Jigsaw Saw shit where he's sitting around watching and there's like a moral connection to everything of why people are in that predicament in the first place. Like, if you ever watch the Saw movies are always talking about, or at least the early Saw movies. I don't know how it was in the later ones, but the early few Saw movies, it was always like, there's always a connection to that person morally on some ground was a bad person or they did something fucked up. And there's a little bit of that in there. So what you basically have, you basically start the show off with a couple of individuals. Our main guy is Sakamoto. He has another name, I think, or I guess Sakamoto is his name in the game Btooom that he plays, right? And also it has a little bit of isekai in there, and I'll get to that. But Sakamoto also has another, his real name is Ryota, I believe. And he's a hikikomori, basically. He's a neat. Like, he kind of gives me a mixture vibe between, like, a few people. Light from Death Note, but not with the whole cynical, psychotic, not with that kind of vibe. Just his introversion, like his introversion, especially in connection to his mother. So Light mixed with the main character from Gantz, mixed with just had it on the top of my head. Mixed with Kirito from Sword Art Online. Shit, man, drawing blanks. I need to get more oxygen to my brain. But anyway, so this guy's basically on a game called Btooom, and he's killing it, and he's doing his thing, and he's on the headset, and he's playing the game or whatever. And then next thing you know, he wakes up, and he's on an island somewhere. And basically what he's meant to do and what he figures out as he dabbles into, the items around him and whatever, and what's going on, and the first guy that he meets or runs into, he realizes, okay, this is a game of survival. Basically, this is a game of survival, and it resembles the video game that he plays. You see what I mean? So basically from there on, there's a couple of characters. The first episode kind of goes over Ryota's backstory. Then there's a female character. The second episode, it goes over her backstory of before she got there. Then there's another character. There's a fat older guy. He gets a backstory, and then from there, everything starts to come together for these people to basically escape. You know what I mean? And so the survival, the connection that I made with Gantz and Hunter x Hunter, the jungle aspect / survival aspect is where those two kind of come together and share the same. The survival aspect is where they share the same similarity as far as Gantz and Hunter x Hunter, particularly because it's happening on an island, and there's actually wildlife that they actually have to at times escape, and people can hide, and people can do all kind of crazy stuff. Some people have established themselves in certain areas of the island and are able to set booby traps that by the time another person comes in, they discover, somebody else already has the area sewn up. You know what I mean? And so there's that going on, and there's, a little bit of romance. I'd say the romance is very, very limited. But, I really like the way this is paced. Like, the way this is paced, it starts off, okay, you got a couple of people. And by the way, everybody is not from the game Btooom. Like, the main character and another character, and there's three characters I believe, and there's the little kid with the pentagram looking thing on his chest. There's three. This guy right there, this little dude right there, him, he's not an ally though. He's not an ally, but these two are the two main allies between each other. And I mentioned a older fat guy, family guy. What was I even talking about? So yeah, every character in the show is not from Btooom. Some people just woke up on the island from their regular everyday life. But these two, Btooom is very familiar. And I wonder why they didn't go deeper into that, as to why they chose to do it that way, where they didn't take everybody from everybody's not a member from playing the game. But for whatever reason, they chose three of the characters that were from the game to wake up, and then it reminds them of the game. So they kind of understand certain dynamics and certain, ways to go about it. And what I didn't mention yet is that the item or weapon of choice in this series is bombs. There's various different types of bombs. Click, it counts down, you throw it, blow people up. Some of the bombs give off poisonous gas. And so there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot of stealth, survival. There's thriller aspects to this. There's a lot of things that catch up later on into the story. Like, for example, and this is why I say the pacing for a 12-episode show, they did enough. They gave you enough of everything that you're looking for. Enough action. I wouldn't say adventure, but enough action, thriller, suspense. These characters you really actually care what happens, or you want to see them make it out. Like, I really wanted to see Rio to make it out. You know what I mean? And the art style and animation, of course, the presentation really is what, a lot of times with these shows, man, you can have the dopest premise in the world, but if the presentation is not on point, then it doesn't really do nothing. So, like, a good example of a show would be, like, look at something like, look at One Punch Man. One Punch Man's first season was incredible with a dope premise. I never saw the second season, but I would assume the reason why it wasn't that dope is because a totally different studio did it and then didn't present it the same. They just weren't able to present it in a, engaging way like the first studio did. A lot of people saw my video, the Hunter x Hunter 2011 versus 1999. Why you should still watch Hunter x Hunter 1999. Incredible video from a few years ago that I recommend you all go check out if you haven't. But a lot of you guys saw that video, and a lot of people it's in the comments. Most of the people in the comments talk about how they really love the 1999, because the 1999 captured the atmosphere of that type of a show and that type of a story, better than the 2011 did, especially for up until the York New, section. Now, Greed Island and beyond, it becomes like this, it kind of goes just down your traditional shonen type of energy. But for the first, up to what the 1999 covered, a lot of people prefer the 1999 because of the presentation. It was more of a darker presentation. So with this show right here, I mean, for them to try to do something more dramatic and artsy or something like that, they delivered it. Incredible art and animation, incredible music. The sound was incredible. Exact attention to detail that's needed for something like that, to the point where this came out in 2012 and it could bang up with some of the stuff that comes out right now. Like, I'm not even joking. You know what I mean? And incredible English dub going with it. Like, this is just awesome. You know what I mean? And all we ask for when we watch these things is to be entertained. That's really all we ask for. So, again, I talk a lot about how anime is not really a priority for me these days, and it's going to take the right things for me to want to watch. And I'm really glad I pulled that off the shelf. Like, I was going through pulling out, halfway pulling out things in the shelf that still need to be watched, and I saw Btooom there. Like, it's this little skinny DVD Blu-ray case, so it's easy to miss, right? So I was like, oh shit. So I pulled it out a little bit, and then I actually came back, yesterday and started watching it, and I couldn't believe it. From the first episode, the first half of the first episode, I was like, I like this, and I had such a good time, But I think I was about to mention getting back onto like the experience. Stuff that happens in the beginning actually catch up later. So for example, no spoilers, but there was this one character that gets blown up, right? And that's another thing. People die in here. Like, people will die. You know what I mean? Simple as that. People get very cutthroat, and especially towards the end, like the last 3 to 5 episodes, it gets cutthroat. You know what I mean? People start seeing an opportunity for them to get the fuck off the island and get home. And, because you have to capture like 6, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 8. But I remember in the beginning it was 8 of these jewels that everybody has in their fucking wrist. Not wrist, in their hand, basically right here. And when you collect 8, you can get off the island. You win. You know what I mean? And there's an organization, and this is why I said Jigsaw, because there's somebody watching and overseeing everything. So there's an organization that's basically overseeing everything. And people start getting, when people team up and everything's about, oh, we're gonna make it out together and we'll go back together and this and that. People team up, and then somebody will see an opportunity where it's just like, yo, everybody, it's not 8 as a team. It's not 8 jewels as a team. It's 8 each. So people start saying, hold on a second. I have 3. I have 3. He has 3. So that's 6. He has 1. And then there's a guy over here we're about to deal with, and he has 1. So after we deal with this guy, if I just kill him and take his shit and the ones that he has, then I have 8 and I can get the fuck out of it. So people start seeing it this way. You know what I mean? Later on. So that's what ends up happening. But anyway, so the build-up shit that I keep on saying, and I keep on interrupting myself. There was a character that died. He got blown up in like the 2nd episode, I think it was. And then like later on, like at episode like 6 or something like that, he gets blown up and then his body lands in the fucking river. So it starts traveling down the river. Then episode 6, 2 other characters that were not there when he even died, 2 other characters are walking, and then his body shows up in the damn river. You know what I mean? So it's still engaging you. Things that you saw before, it's still coming back and engaging you now. So, I don't know man, all I can say is most of you guys know Btooom already. I'm sure I'm going to see it in the comments. We all know, man, like, why didn't they do a 2nd season? I think they put out like a video game or something, like an MMO or something like that, that is long shut down now. There's been games, that started from a manga. And for whatever reason, because the manga kept on going and there was more that could have been done, but they never brought out, they kind of foreshadowed a little bit that, yeah, it would make sense for there to be another season, but it never happened. But man, Btooom was a great experience. I enjoyed this, man. I enjoyed this. How I found out about this was I was looking up like what other anime is there that's like Gantz. You know what I mean? And people always say, whenever you see Gantz anywhere, Btooom always comes up. And this is just great stuff. I'm gonna try to see who did this, what studio did this, because off the top of my head I don't remember. Let's see if I can find the studio. Oh, Madhouse did this. So okay, so Madhouse. Self-explanatory, but Btooom is really dope, man. There's no characters that you'll necessarily like dislike as far as the main ones that are constantly in your face. You pretty much like everybody. Ryota's dope, Sakamoto, Himiko, that's the blonde girl right there, she's dope. She has some trauma, of course, with her. You're gonna get some great action, you're gonna get some great, tactics and stuff like that. People hiding bombs in this crevice over here, and then it seems like he got blown up, but then you see he's still there, and it's like, what's he still doing alive? And then that person kills that person. Like, there's that type of thing in there. It really gets you engaged into what's going on, and that's all I can really say, man. I really enjoyed this show though. Okay, so please go and check out Btooom. Like the video. Let me know what other babbles you guys would like me to see. I saw somebody asked me to do another babble, so I'm gonna check that out. and probably record that one next. But thank you so much for watching. Like the video. If you guys are really liking these babbles or whatever, let me know. Or do you think when it comes to like, for you guys that are still around watching, when it comes to me talking about anime, do you think it's better that that I just do the scripted, you know, videos with the images and stuff like that? I kind of burnt out from doing those, but if this is what people really want to see, I'm down, you know what I mean, to keep making those. But you know, I feel like I'm able to truly relay just how much I really love what I watch or don't like what I watch when I do it this way. But anyway, man, like the video, comment down below what y'all want to see next. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Anime back when.